Lani, I know you're kicking us off with the keynote. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful and really happy to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. So, what insights can you share? I know that within the many years that you've been in this space, you've seen a lot of change that's happened, and you are also actually, working around the globe in a lot of different communities, dealing with different compliances, dealing with the economics. What do you see happening in our community?
Well, first, I want to say hello to everybody. And again, thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Matt. It's truly an honor for Rio Digital to be a global strategic partner with the Blockchain Legal Institute. And, like you said, our missions align very, very closely, and we're very dedicated to collaborating for progress, real progress in this space. And we're thrilled to co-host this global summit. I appreciate BLI's dedication to leading important discussions in the Web3 regulatory space and making them accessible, especially to an online global audience for greater reach and accessibility. What I would like to do is share a little bit of history so that you can understand more about what we've done here in Japan and with the Rio Digital project. I and Anthony Diaz, the founder and chairman of Rio Digital, have been partners for over 3 decades. And being the founders of various companies in various industries globally, from entrepreneurial opportunities to the film industry and now the blockchain space. And our main hub is Japan. And this is where we've been building businesses for over 30 years. And our first 24 years was dedicated to the wellness industry. So back in the 90s, we developed a line of nutritional and skincare products in the USA. And although there was significant demand in Japan, there was ingredients in our formulas that were not recognized or approved for import to Japan. So Japan has the most stringent regulations when it comes to supplements and consumer protection in the world. And so other companies were going through the same obstacles for years, and many of them chose to modify their products for the Japanese market to be pretty much less effective versions just so they can get them approved. So what they were doing is they were selling products in USA and having different sets of ingredients in products that they were sending over to Japan consumers. Anthony and I were not willing to jeopardize quality and integrity of our formulas. We wanted them to be universal. So what we did is we collaborated with the Japanese Ministry of Health to gain approval for our USA made products for sale within Japan. And this was very challenging, going back and forth. The process was very pioneering and eventually led to the approval of our products and numerous ingredients through educating the Ministry of Health and setting precedent for so many other companies and the nutrition industry. So that allowed us to grow a thriving consumer and affiliate base of hundreds of thousands of people. And over the years, we've continually passed more ingredients, which ushered in new standards for the wellness industry. And this is a valuable experience that taught us that strict regulatory frameworks can still foster innovation. In 2011, when we discovered Bitcoin and the blockchain space, and we immediately understood the transformative potential because we not only empower wellness, but autonomy to our large community of affiliates. But in 2011, the absence of clear regulations led to a lot of challenges, as you know, and there was a critical need for structured frameworks instead of being anonymous. We knew that there needed to be a shift to privacy, transparency, and compliance, and that was vital to eventually reach mass adoption. So while many others viewed regulation as a hindrance and chose less structured environments to operate in, we had a long-term foundation in mind, and we chose Japan, a nation renowned for its stringent consumer protection and one of the most stringent blockchain environments. So this led to the creation of the Rio Project in Japan in 2017, and we revived the name Rio. which is Japan's original gold unit from the 1500s, and created a rebirth for the digital age, dedicating it to Japanese values and symbolizing honor, responsibility, and trust. And what we did is we built on our regulatory experience that we had with the Japanese Ministry of Health, and we applied the same proactive approach with blockchain. We viewed regulation not as a barrier, but as a foundation for trust, security, and the best pathway to achieve global adoption. And so our approach prioritized a critical balance. And to us, balance is so important. The balance was between technology, compliance, and usability. So there's been a significant amount of advancement in regulation, as we all know, in technology and in regulation, but not enough on simplicity for ease of use for anyone. And as we all know, lack of daily usability is still a major challenge today, even after Bitcoin's inception 15 years ago and all the progress that's happened since. All three pillars are critical, like a tripod for a stronger foundation. So what we did is we started building the project within Japan and placed a strong focus on this balanced foundation towards mass adoption. And to achieve this, we developed an innovative ecosystem that features a user-friendly digital wallet, an e-commerce platform, and Japan's first and only FSA licensed crypto ATM network that seamlessly all integrates together. And we've also invested in crypto education for years, building a multi-generational community of individuals from their 20s all the way up to their 80s. And we've done this because it's designed for inclusion without needing to understand the underlying technology, and because that just creates complication for users. Our goal is simplicity for everyone and achieving real-world usability. And to ensure transparency, we voluntarily engaged with CertiK. CertiK is a pioneer in the blockchain technology. They specialize in verifying blockchain protocols, smart contracts, and conducting KYC. And we achieved Tier 1 status and bronze certification, which helps us with community trust. Now, in regards to Japan's regulatory leadership with SROs and sandboxes, Japan has been a pioneer, no doubt, in cryptocurrency regulation. They proactively establish frameworks to ensure industry integrity and consumer protection. Now, in April 2018, the Japan Virtual Currency Exchange Association, JVCEA, was formed by over a dozen licensed cryptocurrency exchanges. And this is a self-regulated organization, an SRO, that operates under the oversight of the Financial Services Agency, of the FSA. So they have the authority to create and enforce industry standards. And the JVCEA comprises of top exchange executives that ensures that members adhere to critical and professional benchmarks. So this structure allows crypto operators who are actively involved in client services to develop regulatory frameworks based on real-world experience and circumstances, which is a huge positive. So this balances very strict oversight with operational flexibility. And also, the FSA licensed crypto ATM network that I mentioned earlier, which is part of our ecosystem, is also a member of the JVCEA. And so unlike top-down regulatory enforcement that's seen in many countries, this model allows businesses to innovate with clear and establish guidelines while prioritizing consumer protection. Also, a quick example of how stringent Japan's regulatory environment is there's over 20,000 cryptocurrencies globally, but still only a few dozen are approved in Japan across multiple exchanges due to the rigorous approval process. And so Japan has embraced also regulatory sandboxes as controlled environments where projects can test and refine their innovations under regulatory supervision before full implementation. But Japan also takes a more cautious and risk-adverse approach than sandboxes in other countries that have sandboxes. So, of course, this is not intended to hinder growth, but to prioritize consumer protection and safety above all. The regulators also closely monitor global developments to guide their policy decisions, and Japan's commitment to SROs and sandboxes really help balance innovation, but still within very stringent and regulatory oversight to ensure cryptocurrency and blockchain environment is secure and trustworthy, because they want to really raise that level of standard globally. In regards to economic zones, Japan has established special economic zones, SEZs, in 4 regions, in Tokyo, Osaka, Fukuoka, and Sapporo. And they did this with the goal of fostering innovation and attracting pioneer industries like blockchain enterprises. And these zones are starting to offer regulatory flexibility, incentives, and tax reforms to create a supportive environment for companies to thrive. In fact, the Japan FSA is considering lowering the taxes for crypto investors from as high as 55% to around 20% to align with the stock market capital gains taxes. So they're really hoping to make the Japanese market more attractive to both individual and institutional investors. And so has these efforts helped to set global standards? Yes, I believe so. Japan's regulatory framework and initiatives like what Rio has undertaken serves as a great blueprint an ethical standard for the global blockchain industry, especially in building initiatives responsibly. And this proves that strict compliance and innovation can coexist. Of course, our story, our Rio story from Japan, is just one out of many, many endeavors that are striving to set new global standards for real world adoption. And all of us on this summit that are participating are contributing to a significant paradigm shift. And we're all pioneering a more inclusive and decentralized future in Web3. With our strategic partnership with BLI, we aim to advance this space even further. And we're really excited to continue to do that and for changes that are going to be made in 2025. So I want to thank you for allowing me to share my experiences and insights as your keynote speaker today. And I anticipate hearing a lot more valuable perspectives from the esteemed industry leaders that are participating in this summit. So again, thank you all for your dedication to shaping the future of blockchain. And I'll hand it back to you, Jackie.